Hey, I'm Sil, they, them. This is Stardew Valley episode 7, I think. And as you can see, this time I didn't forget to set the OBS scene to Stardew Valley. So we are actually going to have visual footage this time. Let's get into it. So, I just remembered that in the previous episode we unlocked a few recipes, and I forgot to I forgot to go over them. In fact, one of them is new to me completely because it's probably from the 1.6 update. So let's look into it. So it's this mushroom log. 10 hardwood and 10 moss. I'm not sure where to get moss from. Grows mushrooms every so often. The more wild trees are nearby, the better it works. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. We don't have access to hardwood at the moment. I believe we're going to need at least a silver, sorry, not silver again, at least an iron axe in order to start chopping down like big stumps in order to get it. But moss, I actually have no idea where to get. Another thing that we unlocked is a tapper. So for 40 wood and 2 copper bars, we're going to be able to, attach some of those onto the trees. And I think it's every week or so, like every 7 days or something like that. It generates. So I think from pine, it's pine tar. From maple trees, it's just maple syrup, and then from the other one, I can't remember the last one. It's resin, I think, oak resin or something like that. Is there anything else I want to craft? We don't have enough stone to start decorating the farm with stone fences yet, but I would like to get there eventually. I think that's enough for now. Let's start the day. Weather report. No rain tomorrow. Today is neutral luck and living off the land. Welcome to living off the land. We're back again with another tip for y'all. Now listen up. Refreshing rain. A farmer's best friend. When it rains, you don't have to water your crops. Use this to your advantage. I mean, we've been doing that so far, but thank you. Why am I carrying 3 spring onions with me? Shouldn't I just put them back here? Yeah, let's do that. I don't know. Okay. Let's grab the water. Grab the berries here. Hello, Nooch. Good boy. There's some water. Some more berries. Some more beans. Green beans. And some more carrots. Now let's start watering. So, you may have seen by now that I replaced Balatro on the channel with Pokemon White Vegan Lock. Don't worry, Balatro will definitely be back in the future. I just thought I'd shake things up a little bit and change the balance of the channel, of the content on the channel to be a bit more vegan, or vegan related at least. So yeah, Balatro will be back. And by the way, I just noticed that one of the trees that we planted deliberately just grew completely. So I think the next, or rather the first tapper that we craft, I'm going to dedicate to that. And I'm thinking to myself, the rate at which the mini quarry in the farm generates ore and stuff is pretty slow. If I want to start progressing in the game in terms of different tools, I might want to start either buying ore from Clint, or start seriously thinking about installing the Pacifist Valley mod so I can start walking into the mines. I think so. I thought about it a little bit. Even though I still have that small reservation, of walking into the mines anyway, because it's like grabbing resources from monsters' homes and stuff. I think I will eventually do it anyway, because in a sense, I feel like the point of this playthrough, right, is to encourage critical thinking and vegan thinking when it comes to things that we have been conditioned to take for granted. And I think by evaluating the topic of like the the mines and the topic and the monsters so much, and like trying to find a way that is the least as least harmful as possible, I feel like if it's if it's going to prevent us so much, no, I can sell these three. If it's going to prevent us so much in terms of like game progress, I feel like we can strike a balance where like we're not harming monsters, we're not like doing anything else harmful to them, so might as well like cut some slack when it comes to progress in the game with resources and stuff like that, because I fear that otherwise we're not going to be left with much to do at a certain point in this play style. Like, sure, I could just, keep elapsing, days very, very quickly and just focus on the farming. And that wouldn't, and, I would be able to afford ore like that, right? We'll see. I'll have to think about it. For now, let's make a lap. I want to prioritize the next few days in the game to grab as many salmon berries as possible, so we can stock up for the entire year. So, I just wanted to say real quick that, again, Balatro will be back in the future. I just wanted to add some, more vegan variety to the channel. And if some of you have not played Pokemon before, you might and maybe you've seen the the thumbnail, right? And you're thinking to yourself like, how can you play Pokemon in a vegan way, right? Because like it's all about capturing like monsters that are kind of like animals, right? And then forcing them to like fight against each other. Well, in order to play the game in a way that feels right, that feels a bit more vegan, I've come up with a list of self-imposed stipulations that makes the process a bit more vegan, makes it focused a lot more on consent and I don't know. I guess that's all I have to say. So if you haven't seen Pokemon before, if you haven't played, and you're curious to see, how the game could be played from a vegan perspective, feel free to check that series out. So yeah, as you can see, I think definitely at some point when I leveled up my foraging skill to 4, I think that's what ended up causing bushes like that to start dropping 2 salmon berries instead of 1 at a time. So we're definitely doing great. We're definitely stocking up for the rest of the year pretty well. Now, another thing that I said I wanted to do... Oh, there's Leah. Let's see if she likes Dandelion. Oh, you've already given Leah 2 gifts this week. That's enough. That's fine. Oh, well, let's at least talk to her. There's actually a lot of wild food in this area if you know where to look. I've been having fresh salads almost every day. So yeah, this is repeated dialogue. And yeah, we have been fighting a lot, Leah, actually, especially during this season. All right, let's go make a trash lap, check the beach for digging spots. So yeah, another thing I really want to start doing, and I mentioned it perhaps a couple episodes ago, and didn't get much to it. Like I started doing it, but then I got distracted. Is I really want to get a lot of trees planted around the farm, because the earlier I do it, the earlier they'll grow, and the earlier we'll have more wood for upgrades or potentially for selling. But yeah. Okay, no digging spots on the beach. That's fine. And by the way, I have been thinking about like the coral thing, right? Wait, let's say hello to Sam. I recognize that I've already read this line of dialogue, so I'm not going to repeat it. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, regarding corals. So I've been thinking a little bit about the point that I made in the original Stardew Valley video, the video essay about corals. And I'm open to reevaluating it. And I'd like to know if you feel like engaging in the comments. Hey, nice, we got some bread. If you feel like engaging in the comments, I'd love to hear your opinion. Do you think that like the limitation on, harvesting corals is a bit too harsh? Do you think it's pointless? Do you think it's like, reasonable? Do you think it's like right on the spot or anything like that? Let's say hello to Abigail. Oh no, I think my dad's going to cook dinner tonight. And that's a bad thing? Alright. We have a quest pending. Let's go see what it is after checking the trash here. I think I already checked Lewis's. Let's say hello to Evelyn. And also Caroline afterwards. And Emily, I guess. Evelyn. I'll be baking cookies today. Oh, I think I've read this before. Yeah, I think I've read this. Emily. I hope you're farming in a sustainable way. The valley's ecosystem is fragile. How do I know? I have a strong gut feeling. Source, just trust me. Caroline. What am I going to make for dinner tonight? Maybe I'll just get takeout from the saloon. I thought Pierre was cooking dinner tonight. Vincent. I'm hungry. Where's Mom? And we've already read that line before. Okay, let's go see what the quest is. Oh, hello, Jody. So you're a farmer, huh? Interesting. I've never met a farmer before. Maybe someday you can teach me how to grow vegetables. Okay, help wanted. A paste of fresh leek makes a wonderful tonic for hair loss. If you find one, I could put it to good use. Dr. Harvey. 180 gold delivery. Harvey will be pleased. Let's definitely do that. I believe we do have at least one leek to give. So I don't know if we're going to be able to find Harvey today. Maybe he'll be in the saloon later in the day. So just in case, let's start carrying a leek with us if we don't find one along the way. By the way, I recognize that, it is possible to chop, trees in this area for a little bit more wood and, some more seeds. But I don't want to do that because I feel like it's public space. I don't want to, jeopardize what the space looks like for other people. Yeah. So I'm thinking, yeah, we have some leeks, definitely. And also, now that we have a couple more dandelions, we can make another batch of seeds. So I'm going to do that real quick, plant them, and then we'll go try to find Harvey. If we can't find him today, I'll make it a priority for, the next day. Okay, we have enough space. That's good. Now, we have 2,600 gold. And as I mentioned earlier, unless we're going to, start mine delving with the Pacifist Valley mod, starting the next few episodes, I'm going to want to go and take a look at how much each type of ore costs at Clint's place. Because I might need to consider starting to buy some and smelting them myself. I want to upgrade some of my tools, especially the pickaxe and the axe, as early as possible. Not only so I can clear away stuff from the farm, but also so I can start, accessing the secret woods, where I can repeatedly chop, stumps like these that keep growing there. So, all right, let us put this back. This as well, and let's see if we can go find Harvey. And I realized that I want to go to Clint's to see the prices for ore a bit too late. It's already evening at this point. It's weird. I feel like days in Stardew Valley have been passing a lot faster than I remembered them passing. But obviously unless something has been significantly changed, in the update, that seems like it would be just my perception. Let's say hello to Penny real quick. We're very lucky to have a library in such a small town. When you're lost in a book, it's easy to forget the realities of your life. Maybe that's why I like reading so much. Sorry, I got carried away there. I mean, valid. I can definitely relate to that. And I also want to take another look at the calendar because I'm curious to see when the book seller comes again, if they're going to offer different books this time compared to the previous time. And then there's also the flower dance. And I'm pretty sure that in order for someone to accept you for the flower dance, you need to have, I can't remember, is it 2 hearts or 4 hearts? I don't know. But unfortunately, we're not even close with Maru. We might be able to make it with Leah. So we'll see. Let's go to the saloon and see if Harvey is there. Nor Harvey. That's okay. Say hello to Shane. What do you want? Leave me alone. Yeah, yeah. Be a curmudgeon. Hello, Pam. Gulp, if you're looking... okay. Sorry. Smoker voice. I've been looking forward to this beverage all afternoon. Okay, and she's just gonna repeat that. Gus. Hey, you look like you could use a beverage. And he's gonna repeat that. Okay, and we've already talked to Emily. Curious to see if anything in the saloon selection changes. There's all these recipes, but we can't really do anything with them at the moment. Well, I mean, I guess we could. We could, you know, craft cookout kits, but I don't want to spend resources doing that when we can just save for a kitchen instead. So we're not going to find Harvey today. That's fine. I'll make it a priority tomorrow. I think let's finish the day by taking a lap through the northern side of town and the mountain pass. See if there's more berries we can harvest and potentially more, you know, wild stuff as well. What was I talking about beforehand? I feel like I lost my train of thought as soon as, you know. Oh yeah, okay. So tools. I want to upgrade both the pickaxe and the axe, but as well, I want to get, you know, I want to get some copper for crafting. There's quite a lot of stuff that I want to make with it. For example, I want to, well, not a bee house. So I want to craft a tapper. I want to craft a charcoal kiln because it might be useful with all the amount of wood that we're going to chop. I want to make a mayonnaise machine because eventually we're going to be able to like cook vegan stuff with it because of the vegan crafting recipe mod. But that's going to require an earth crystal as well, which we don't have access to at the moment. So we'll see. But yeah, I want to upgrade both the pickaxe and the axe to silver, iron quality. Oh, Sebastian is up at night outside. I snuck into the caves last night and got a nasty cut from a rock crab. Don't tell anyone, okay? All right, I won't tell. Maybe if you tried to cuddle with it, who knows? Also, let's go say hello to Linus. And I'm curious to see. Linus is a pretty simple person. I imagine, well, simple in terms of like, you know, tastes, right? I wonder if he would appreciate salmonberry. Let's see. This is a great gift. Thank you. Oh, that's great. Do you want something from me? Okay, so if he likes this gift, my hunch was correct. Yeah, he does like this gift. So we have like literally over 100 of those. I was about to say over 1,000, but that would be overboard. We have over 100 of those. So I guess we could start, you know, very consistently trying to befriend Linus. Which, you know, we've already kind of set a precedence for when we had that event in the previous episode. There's another leak, by the way. Almost missed it. Oh, and it's a gold one too. I wonder if you give someone a gold star item for a quest, does that increase the happiness that you get from that with them, or the friendship levels? I'm not sure. Part of me wants to like quickly look it up, you know, before we, you know, give a regular one to Harvey, because if it is, you know, I mean, I'm tempted to I'm tempted to look it up, but another part of me is like tempted to just, you know, go with my hunch, right? Just play without looking things up too much, and just, you know, go with what feels right. And I don't know. I'm thinking let's just give him the gold one. It's not going to be too big of a difference. Like a leek sells for how much? 60. So like a gold one would be probably like, I don't know, 90 or something like that, or at most like 120. So yeah, let's put this leek back. Hello, Nooch. Yeah, and we would need more dandelions if we want to make more of these. Also, I'm gonna carry. Let's do this. I'll carry 2 more flowers, and I want to sell one of each of these before I go to sleep. And I have some more energy, so I will go chop a little bit more. If there's, you know, there are trees on the farm that could use chopping. there's some over there. So yeah, I think I'm going to try my best throughout the playthrough to not look things up on the internet. Obviously, I already have some advantage of knowledge from previous playthroughs where I did look things up, right? But I feel like I want to not get further deeper into that if possible. Okay, so we've got 4 of these. For now, let's... Oh, I wish this was clear already. This is why I want to, get... I think I'll probably get the silver axe first before... Again, not silver, iron. The iron axe first before, before the iron pickaxe. Because I do want to be able to, clear these off the farm and, make the farm more accessible through walking. Okay. Everything's watered. We're just in time. Okay. Justin, I thought your name is Sil. Okay, let's go to sleep. Day 19. Okay. Weather report. No rain tomorrow. Fortune teller. Relatively good luck today. We got a letter. Farmer Sil, I have a request for you. I need fresh cauliflower for a recipe I want to make. Could you bring me one? Jody. So right in time, Jody, because we just now get a fresh harvest of cauliflower. Let's see if we can get it. Yeah, okay. We got a high quality one, and like with Harvey, I will give the high quality, the gold star cauliflower to Jody, just on the off chance that increases friendship faster. But with the rest of them, I think we can just sell, and we know the cauliflower sells for a lot. Yeah, we already have 3 here, so that's good. Gonna keep it and sell the rest. There we go. The watering can. Hello, Nooch. Who's a good boy? Have some water. Oh, sorry. Let's water. So, I thought today, kind of like as is a custom at this point on Stardew Valley episodes, at least until I run out, I thought I'd bring another, topic up from, something that I believe in, like some value that I hold, that is important to me. And this time it's going to be about relationships. I think I mentioned probably in one of the first episodes when I mentioned, the polyamory mod in the game, that I am polyamorous in real life. And what I didn't mention probably is that I'm also a relationship anarchist. So what do I mean by those? I think sometimes people can get confused around those topics, so I thought I'd, right off the bat, I'm going to make, my definitions for them clear. So with polyamory, there are 2 things that people often seem to conflate. And, there's a lot of arguments even within the community, within the polyamory theory community, about what being poly actually means. And rather than try to pick a side, I just personally decided we could just have both definitions. So I have basically 2 definitions for what poly is, and I just call them I refer to them a bit differently. When I say that I am poly, I mean in the inherent sense. And what do I mean by that? If you feel like you can love more than one person at the same time, and in this case, when I say love, I mean in a way that is beyond platonic. So whether be it physical attraction, romantic attraction, sexual, whatever, right? Anything that is kind of usually referred to as intimate. If you are capable of feeling that towards more than one person at the same time, then I would say that you are inherently polyamorous, right? As opposed to monogamous. I'm gonna put a pause real quick because I see this. Oh, okay, it's Jody. Okay. Let's go to town, give the gifts, and I'll continue talking about the topic. If you're capable of that... Oh, what is that? Jack Be Nimble, Jack Be Thick. So this is a book kind of like, you know, kind of like the bookseller, right? I wonder, I am not going to need +1 defense because we're not going to be fighting monsters. So I wonder if we can sell this for some money. We'll see. But yeah, this is the first time I'm seeing a book like that. So I imagine it has to be from the 1.6 update. So yeah, if you're capable of loving more than one, being attracted in that sense to more than one person, sorry, had a burp, to more than one person at the same time, then I would say that you are inherently poly, as opposed to monogamous where you can't. Did we start the day with very low energy? I didn't notice. That's okay. Let's see if Harvey is here. Yes, he is. Let's give him the leak. Hey, so you saw the bulletin I posted. I really appreciate it. Here's your payment as promised. It's a beautiful day, isn't it? I wish I had less work to do. Don't we all? Okay, we got 180. And let's see where we're standing with Harvey. It seems like I can't remember if I gave Harvey a gift before. I don't think I have. So the fact that this one quest already increased it by 1 heart makes me feel like there is a difference with the gold star quality. But again, who knows? And by the way, if any of you would like, feel free to let me know in the comments about it. Now I want to find Jody, but we can do it. We can do a trash lap while doing so. Oh, maple seed is nice. And then I want to go to Clint. So if you are not capable of, feeling an attraction like that to more than one person at the same time, then you are inherently monogamous, right? Oh, there's Jody. Let's give her the cauliflower. Oh, that looks delicious. Thank you. And this is just what I wanted. It's going to be perfect for my yellow curry. The food at Jojo Mart might not be the healthiest for my family, but with such low... Oh, I feel like I've read this before. And let's let Sam go out and then chat with him. Did I ever tell you we used to live in the city? There's a lot more stuff going on, but it's also kind of noisy and hectic. It's hard to say which is better. I feel like that's a new line. Let's say hello to Haley. Haley's ignoring you. Jesus Christ, what did I do to deserve that? I feel like this has happened 3 times in a row now. Oh well. So yeah, so there's that definition, right? Like whether you are inherently or not, but then there's the other axis of whether or not you are practicing polyamory or monogamy, right? And really, there can be any combination of the 4. Oh, an omnigeode. That's fantastic. I'm gonna save that for for the luckiest day, for a day with the highest luck possible. And also don't forget to visit Clint. And also don't forget to get money from Jody. I've seen, obviously there are most people in the world practice monogamy. I assume that a lot of them are also actually monogamous, right? So monogamous and practicing monogamy. Let's pause that thought real quick. Shop. Copper ore is 75 each. Iron is 150 each. Coal is 150 each. And gold is 400 each. So like each bar of copper is going to be, what's that times 5? It's almost 500 each, right? That's quite a lot. I don't think I can afford that at the moment. We'll see, because the 10,000 bag is not really, that needed anyway at the moment. I think what else I would want to save money for, but maybe, you know what, just for the sake of being able to start tapping into, different tree types, I will get, let's do, I can't remember how much ore I have at the moment. I think it's like 4 pieces of copper ore at home. So I'm going to buy 11 of these. And we'll be able to make 1 tapper for, oh wait, tapper is 2 copper bars. Oh, that sucks. Okay, I still want to be able to tap into them early. So, at the moment we have 1 bar at home. We have 4 more ore at home. So now we're at 4 copper bars overall. I'm gonna buy 10 more. So it cost us quite a lot, but I think in the long run, it's going to be worth it. We're not like saving for anything specifically right now, other than I guess the kitchen or something. But it might be faster to get to the kitchen upgrade through, starting to like tap into trees like that. See if there's a digging spot on the beach. Oh, and I forgot to check whether or not I can sell the book to anyone. I guess I'll go through Pierre on the way back, and then also through the traveling merchant and see if we can sell that to any of them. Okay, so yeah, there are people who are deep down monogamous, right? Who also practice monogamy, and then everything's great. There are obviously people who are deep down polyamorous, and they practice polyamory, and obviously that's great. But then, like through different circumstances, there are people who, do the opposite. Wait, where did I want to go? I wanted to go to Pierre. There are people who, deep down are polyamorous, but they end up, practicing monogamy, let's say, for example, because of the constraints of capitalism, right? They barely have free time. They don't feel like they can emotionally maintain more than one like significant like romantic relationship at the same time. And so they don't, right? Oh, I also want to save for trees now that I think about it. Let's see, which, like, obviously we're not going to grow like spring trees now. Which trees grow in the summer? Cherry. This is the spring. Okay, so orange and peach grow in the summer. I doubt I'm going to be able to get enough, like 10,000 by the end of the season, but who knows? We'll see. In worst case, I can buy just one of them, right? I can buy like an orange, for example. That shouldn't be an issue. We'll see. How much would all of these sell for? 790. That's nothing to scoff at. Okay, I'll consider it. But yeah, so there are people who might be deep down poly, but they end up practicing monogamy because of time constraints or energy constraints or stuff like that. And of course, there could be people who are monogamous, but for one reason or another, maybe through, because they don't want to impose restrictions on their partner who is polyamorous. They end up just being fine with it, where their partner is open to such relationships with more people at the same time. So I wanted to get that out of the way, right? So when I say wait, let's see what we have here. Okay, so we can't sell the book. Oh, is that 5? No, that's okay. Even if it was 5 pieces for 900 gold together, that's still way too expensive. And also 1 piece of fiber for 100 gold, that seems a bit ridiculous. So yeah, no thank you. Let's make a lap through the forest so I'll finish making my point. So yeah, when I say that I am polyamorous, what I mean to say is, there's a lot of ADHD brain moment. What I mean to say is that I have the capacity, to be attracted in that way to more than one person at the same time. Does that mean I necessarily like it? No. I think my life would be a lot simpler if I was monogamous. In fact, I'll go even a step beyond. I think my life would be a lot easier if I was, aromantic and asexual, because then I just wouldn't have to worry at all about relationships and sex, right? Or rather romantic relationships and sex, I should say. But no such luck, right? Not only am I, capable of feeling romantic attraction and sexuality, but also I just can't control the fact that I can be attracted to more than one person at the same time. Now, whether I act up on it or not is a different matter. I am going to act on it in the sense that I'm going to let every person I date know that I don't wish to be, restricted to a mutually exclusive relationship with them, right? I want to be able to, if I feel something towards someone, right, and they're feeling it towards me too, and everyone is consenting and aware in the situation, I want us to be able to, practice that. I want us to be able to explore stuff with each other. So again, when I start dating someone, I tell them that I am polyamorous, and that even though I may not outright like seek out a lot of connections like that with different people, I am still going to like keep myself like available to them, right? I'm not going to confine myself like away from them. But of course, that's neither here or there, because I am like, as you know, as a vegan antinatalist, like with all the rest of my values, it is difficult to find people I feel comfortable with, for either a romantic relationship or a sexual one, like either way, which is a point that I'll get to a little bit later, about demisexuality, and I guess demi-romanticism too. What did I want to do? Let's okay. Let's plant this in a spot with fertilizer, and then also water it. I'm gonna keep, and let's store some stuff. Boom, boom, boom. I'm gonna keep that here for now. Now we have 25. Let's start smelting a little bit before I forget. Dandelion we can put here, and I think now we can craft. No, I'm not gonna craft more. I'm gonna save 3 of each. And then the rest of these we can put outside. So yeah, look, I personally, and okay, I should get into like the reasons before I continue. I should get into like the reasons as to why, like what are some of the upsides of polyamory, right? The obvious downsides is that, of course, you're going to sometimes like deal with jealousy, right? Especially if you feel like you can get everything you're looking for from one partner, and they might want to like kind of like seek out and connect with more than just you. So that can obviously suck sometimes, right? The upside is that first and foremost, and I guess most importantly, when you are polyamorous, the idea is that you don't expect to find everything you're looking for, in terms of romanticism and like sexuality, in just one person. And that's a good thing, because it's very unrealistic to expect to find everything you're looking. Wait, I already checked the I thought for a moment that I didn't check the trader yet. It's unrealistic to expect to find everything you're looking for in just one person. And when you form such expectations and they're not met, that's going to be the beginning of, some subconscious resentment, right? It's going to cause pressure. You're going to, even if you don't mean to, right? You're going to start like putting like emotional pressure on your partner to like do things or like provide to you things that they don't like authentically want to give, right? So, and as a result as well, you're not going to expect to provide everything your partner is looking for, right? So all in all, when you can find all of your needs across, multiple relationships, that allows you to focus on the great things that you have with each one of them individually. So yeah, that's the first thing. The second thing is emotional availability. Obviously, I'm just waiting, by the way, for this copper bar to smelt. Wait, do I have to? No, I can just take this one. Let's craft a tapper. And I'm gonna go with maple syrup. Oh wait, let's put another. Let's put more copper to smelt. I'm gonna put this on a maple tree first, I think. Wait, do we even have a maple tree growing at the moment? Not yet. Okay, I'll put it on the oak then first. There we go. Although maybe I should move it eventually to the one of the front. One of the ones at the bottom, so it's easier to see when they're ready. We'll get there. So yeah, emotional availability. Obviously, one aspect of relationships that people really like, and and like one of the reasons people seek relationships is because they want to be with someone who is consistently emotionally available for them, right? Whether it be it like to like listen or support or comfort or anything like that. By the way, I'm not saying more like either a pine tree or a maple tree growing on either of the dedicated areas. So for now, I'm gonna keep this here. And let's go plant more pines, I guess. We've already filled that area, I think. So for now, I'm just gonna spread these randomly, like in this area. So yeah, you want to be in a relationship for, among other reasons, because you want someone who's like very often emotionally available for you, right? Like you want to be with someone who like prioritizes you over others, right? But the thing is, even in a relationship like that, even if you have decided to dedicate yourself to just one person, there's no guarantee that you're going to be 100 like emotionally available to them 100% of the time, and you can't guarantee that they would be emotionally available to you 100% of the time. So when you end up, you know, being in need for emotional availability, but they can provide it to you, then that's when you start feeling like, you know, oh, like my need is not being met, or like maybe during those times I feel lonely. And, you know, emotional unavailability can happen due to various reasons. Just before I forget, let's craft another tapper. Can happen for various reasons, right? It could be that the person is like away from home for a very long time. It could be that, you know, they're going through, you know, emotionally difficult times like depression or something like that. It could be a lot of different stuff, right? But the point is, before I go to sleep and move on to the next day, the point is, when you are not, like when you have more than one relationship, you know, at the same time, and it doesn't even have to be like, you know, a sexual one or necessarily, but like when you have like another deep, meaningful relationship other than just, you know, one, you basically increase the odds that when you need emotional availability, at least one of them is going to be available to you, right? So, and I think that's a good thing. In fact, if both of the people you're seeing, you know, get along with each other and like each other, then they could be both available to you at the same time. And wish to like support you together at the same time. And that can be a wonderful feeling too. But yeah, let's put a pause on that real quick and move on to the next day. So yeah, we've made a bunch of money from cauliflowers. Let's see how much we have total now. We might be able to buy an orange tree soon. Oh, you know what? Okay, I just realized. I actually shouldn't buy summer trees now, because by the time summer rolls in, they're not going to be ready to produce fruit. So instead, I should actually buy fall trees. So I'm going to want to go back and see how much these sell for. Okay, no rain tomorrow. Fortune teller, this is a good day, but not good enough to crack geodes. Oh, we get a fresh batch of parsnips. Let's see if we get... yeah, we got a golden star one. Perfect. And another one. So... I'm gonna sell, you know what? Parsnips sell for so little that the gold star actually doesn't mean too much at this point. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm going to sell, let's see how many, we have 3, right? I think what I'm gonna do is, instead of the basic 3 here, yeah, I'm gonna save 1 gold and 2 silver for gifts, because, you know, if they don't sell for much anyway, might as well increase the gift value towards people. So you want this one for the community center, and then we can sell these 8. Okay, I'm gonna put this one. Wait, did I already? Oh, we already have 5. Oh, okay, never mind. I just realized I'm stupid. These 5 are supposed to go to, you know, the community center. That's okay. I'll do that at some point. There's no pressure to do that early, other than to like clear up inventory space or storage space. Okay, let's get the watering can. Hello, Nooch. Who's a good boy? Have some water. Right. So there are, you know, a bunch of different upsides to polyamory, right? But really, the main reason you would want to like practice it is if you feel, oh, and there's another parsnip, and just enough for, you know, to level up to the next farming level. So that's nice. I missed it earlier. We need more water. The main reason, you know, someone would want to like practice polyamory is, of course, if they feel like they can't, you know, if they feel like they are inherently poly, if they feel like they can love more than one person at the same time, and they don't want to like miss out on that, which is a completely perfectly valid, you know, reason in and of itself. So that was about polyamory, right? But what's relationship anarchy? Before I get into relationship anarchy itself, I will say real quick that these two are not necessarily accompanying. And what I mean by that is that a person can be like polyamorous but not a relationship anarchist, or they could be a relationship anarchist but not polyamorous. And once I get into like the details of relationship anarchy, I'll provide an example of how that might happen. That someone is like monogamous but still relationship anarchist. So in general, you may know from other fields of like theory that the idea of like anarchy is simply the abolition of hierarchies, right? Or rather like the emphasis of like personal autonomy without harming anyone else. So relationship anarchy is essentially kind of like the application of anarchical principles and autonomy to like different forms of relationships. What does that mean? There's a lot of like different nooks and crannies in this theory that one can get to, but for I personally compiled like 4 points, which I think can demonstrate the idea of it like pretty well. So the first one is the rejection of the notion that one person should have any say or influence over who another person should relate with, how they relate with them, to what extent, etc. We can sell this parsnip. So for example, let's say, I'm dating someone called, let's use, people from Stardew Valley. Let's say I'm dating Alex, right? Wait, no, I don't want to date Alex. I want to date Sam. Sam is cooler. Let's say I'm dating Sam, right? And, all of a sudden I happen to meet Maru, right? And I get the feeling that I like Maru. And let's say Maru likes me too. And we want to start exploring stuff with each other that is beyond platonic, right? Of course, I'm going to tell Sam about this, right? Because everyone deserves to be fully informed and like consenting in the, in any system that has to do with like polyamory. Oh, it's Shane's birthday. Do I care about that? Probably not. So yeah, like, oh, Sebastian happened to see that. Let's say hello to him anyway. What? I didn't hear you. I'm busy thinking about something. What do you want? Okay, whatever. I let Sam know that I'm interested in Maru. Maru's interested in me, and we want to start dating, right? If Sam is cool with that, then great. If Sam is not cool with that, there are two options, right? In a hierarchical polyamorous situation, if I consider Sam to be a quote unquote like main partner or primary partner or something like that, and I want his say to like have an impact on like who I get to date and who I don't, right? Then I guess that's it, right? But relationship anarchy suggests that people shouldn't have a say. And so I'm going to skip on talking to them, by the way, because I want to continue, I want to complete the point. Whatever, shut up. So if Sam doesn't like that, then according to relationship anarchy, it's his to deal with, right? And I can, of course, reach out to him and like, talk to him, like reassure to him that like it's not going to take away anything from our relationship, etc. But ultimately, it's up to him to decide whether a sunfish frenzy has begun in Cittersnap Forest. Okay, I don't care about that because I don't fish. Or rather, I don't murder such individuals. Let's say hello to Elliot real quick because I don't get to see him often. You probably wouldn't like it inside my cabin. It's dark and full of spiders. Okay, have we already given Elliot a daffodil? Guess not. Let's see if he likes it. I'm not a huge fan of this. Well, fuck you. Like, do people in real life really not like daffodils? I can't remember what a daffodil looks like in real life. I guess I'll look it up after this episode. But anyway, if Sam doesn't like that, then it's up to them, right? They can either, like, it's up to them whether or not they can, accept it right? Accept that like this is what I'm looking for, this is what makes me happy, and then support me through it while getting from me like what they can, and vice versa. Or if it feels like too much to them emotionally, then they can leave, right? But of course, and that leads me also to the second point that I want to make. The second one is, well, I guess it's not one of the ones that I wrote down specifically, but it did spring to mind, like as more relevant at this point, which is that my friend calls this principle like the one who wants less is always right. Think about it this way. Imagine I'm seeing someone, right? Or even just in friendship, right? Even just in like platonic friendship. If I really like my friend, right? And I want to spend 4 days a week with them, right? But they want to spend 2 days a week with me because they've got other stuff going on or they're busy or whatever. Oh, wow. Look at that. That's pretty cool. And of course, we're not going to do anything to them. We're just going to let them live their life. If I want to spend 4 days a week with a friend of mine and they want to spend 2 with me because they've got other stuff going on, maybe they're busy, maybe they're just not emotionally available for that, etc. Ooh, we get some copper ore. That's great. Then who is going to adjust to whom, right? Like, am I going to expect them to meet 4 days a week with me, even though that's not what they want? Or am I going to adjust downwards to meet them 2 days a week, right? Of course, the answer is the latter, right? Because when I adjust downwards, there's no breach of boundaries, right? And I can find the rest of what I'm looking for in platonic friendships in other people. Is this part of the? I feel like this is. I mean, I feel torn about these, right? Like, I think I'll chop this down because it's not part of the schematic here, like the pattern that I wanted to plan down. And I will chop down this as well in hope of finding another maple seed. Speaking of which, let's plant this one. So yeah, in platonic friendship, like the one who wants less is always right? Or rather, like we always adjust downwards to the person who wants less. And here's another example. Let's say you're dating someone and you're getting sexual, right? You just got home from a date. You're getting into bed. You want to get to like, sorry, by the way, to use like antiquated, like, kind of cringe terms, but just for the sake of, ease of reference. Let's say that you want to, to get like, go to like third base this time. And they only want to get to like second base, right? What do? Do you go to third base? Obviously, the answer is no. You go only up to second base. Because if you did try to go to third base, that would be a breach of their boundaries. Whereas if you want to get to third base with someone, right, under relationship anarchy or polyamory, you can still do that just with other people. You're not going to like force that on someone who doesn't genuinely, authentically want it, right? And so the key in all of this is enthusiastic consent. People only do, in any relationship, people should only do, I should say, in relationships, what they genuinely feel like doing without trying to like appease the other person in the relationship. Now, of course, there's always like, wiggle room for like compromise, especially if like it's not like too big of a deal, if it's not too big of a boundary breach, right? But the idea is to discourage actual boundary breaches. That's the important part. Let's give Salmonberry to Linus. So he's just going to be the same line when we're giving gifts. I accidentally clicked to move that away. I don't need new friends. I mean, I'm going to be your friend anyway, Linus. Anyway, which is kind of ironic to say considering I just said that like people in relationships should only, do what they enthusiastically want to. But yeah, you might be asking yourself, so why is it called like relationship anarchy, right? Remember, anarchy by definition is just like anti-hierarchy, right? And why is this relevant here? Because when you evaluate both your interests, oh, I missed this digging spot here, and prehistoric tool. Do we need this for any of the collections? Crafts room, fish tank, boiler room, explorer's bundle. No, we don't. Okay, so tomorrow we can give that to Gunther. Anyway, So remember, anarchy equals anti-hierarchy, right? And when we say hierarchies in the contexts of relationships, we mean moral hierarchies, or rather hierarchies between like, needs and wants and like desires and boundaries, right? And when you try to manipulate someone or downright try to force them to give you something that they don't authentically want to give, what you're essentially doing is prioritizing, right, your needs or desires or whatever in a higher in a higher tier in a hierarchy above their boundaries, right? You're basically saying my needs or my desires are more important than yours, or more important than your boundaries. And that's what relationship anarchy like tries to like abolish and like educate against. So yeah, I hope I've made that point clear. Now, another important part of relationship anarchy is the rejection of default amatonormative expectations of relationships, such as the relationship escalator, as well as expectations for relationships to last certain amounts of time or indefinitely. Now, this was a bit of a bombastic, clause. So let me try to explain a little bit more what I mean by it. But I will go to sleep first, and I think we'll make this episode another day long. We'll add another day to it, so it might end up being longer than an hour, but that's fine because I feel like I want to like get more into the topic. But before that, level 4 farming, +1 watering can proficiency, +1 hope proficiency, new crafting recipe iron fence, new crafting recipe preserves jar. I'm definitely going to want to craft a lot of that to enhance the value of the crops that we make. And new crafting recipe, basic retaining soil. All right. Before I continue getting into the topic, I want to see how to craft a preserves jar. Okay, so it's just wood, stone, and coal. So I guess rather than sell either wood or stone, or coal for that matter, I am going to want to try to create to craft as many preserves jars as possible, especially as we get into later parts of the game where we have a lot of crops to put into them. But the issue is, where do I get all the stone from? I can't remember if you can buy stone at Robin's, so I guess I'll go check today. Make like a mental clipboard for myself to tick off today. Anything else that I wanted to look at? I don't think so. Okay. Let's check the TV. No rain. Still relatively good luck. And the Queen of Sauce, and we get a new recipe. Greetings, it is I, the Queen of Sauce, here to teach you a new mouth-watering recipe from my secret cookbook. This week's dish is radish salad. There's nothing like a fresh, peppery radish. It reminds me of the late spring. My mother would slice up our fresh radishes and serve them on grainy bread with a little salt and pepper. Ah, those were the days. But I digress. Now watch closely. You learn how to cook radish salad. Not that we can see it at the moment. Or maybe we can actually. Let's see. Oh yeah, we can. So actually, let's take a look at some of the recipes that we've unlocked so far. Fried egg. So with the vegan recipes mod, instead of actual eggs, we use tomato. So it's kind of like a tomato, I don't know, fried tomato or whatever. Farmer's lunch is potato and parsnip, which we can actually, you know what? Maybe I should craft this. It's just 1 parsnip and 1 potato, and it gives you +3 farming, which I guess elevates the, elevates the, like the quality of the crops that you might get. Maybe I'm talking out of my ass. I don't know. I'll think about it. Stir fry. Oil, kale, common mushroom, and cave carrot. We can't make that now. And also it's just energy, right? So might as well just eat salmon berries instead of that. Same for fried egg. Also, we don't have tomatoes at the moment. Radish salad. Radish, vinegar, and oil. This is what we unlocked today. It's also only just energy, so no need for that. Coleslaw is the same. Red cabbage we're very far from getting. And moss soup, which I think we have unlocked from one of the level ups. But again, I can't seem to remember where to get moss from. We'll have to run into it eventually. Okay. Step outside. We get a new harvest. We get strawberries too, which is fantastic. Let's get all this stuff. More beans too. Did we get any high quality strawberries? Nope. That's okay. So with strawberries, I'm going to save 3, I think, for potentially when we get the seed maker in the future, and I'll sell the rest. Okay, definitely sell high quality crops here. Save daffodils for people who like them. Should I actually? How much do daffodils sell for? 30. Yeah. I don't know. I'll think about it. Oh, and sell the beans as well. Sell this. Sell 2 strawberries. And that's it. Now, before I forget, let's see if we can make more batches of wild seeds. We need... Okay, let's put all the dandelions back, all of these, and all of these. So we can definitely make some. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Let's just make 3 for now, of each. Make sure to put the golden daffodils back there so we don't actually accidentally craft with them. And after crafting them and watering, we'll see if we can afford to craft more. It seems like we are going to have enough space for more, actually, so that's good. Okay, let's prioritize fertilized spots first, then the ones that are closer to home. Yeah, we're definitely going to have space for more. So I'm going to craft maybe another batch, actually, like 2 batches. We'll see. No, I want to keep 3 wild horseradish, so just 1 more. Okay, and put the strawberries here too. Okay, so now I can get back into the topic that I wanted. So, 2 major points that I made back there. The point about amatonormativity, which is a term that you might not be familiar with. And I'll actually link a video by a content creator that I really like called Tara Mooney, who gets into the topic of, amatonormativity in a very, very well done video about it. But essentially what it means, it's a collection of standard societal expectations for what, a proper relationship might look like, a proper successful relationship, right? Which can include stuff like, heteronormativity, cisnormativity, stuff like the nuclear family, having children, which, by the way, sucks ass as an antinatalist, so no thanks. But yeah, it's like, just be this, like, amatonormativity basically wants you to be the most standard, like, relationship participant possible, right? So that sucks, of course. But then there's also the second point that I made about, wait, before that. So the relationship escalator is the idea that there's a correct order of, things to do in a relationship. That is to say, you start simple by, like being platonic. Then you may, if you want to like go beyond that, maybe you start off by like, holding hands, confessing to each other, like, hugging, and then you go up to like more explicit stuff, like, kissing, and then more explicit stuff, and more and more and more, right? It's the idea that, and even when I say more explicit stuff, like in quotation marks, right? Like abolishing the relationship escalator wants to do away with that. The idea that like more explicit stuff necessarily means like a deeper connection, right? Or like more meaningful, or like stuff like that, right? And of course, the relationship escalator like holds that the most significant like thing that can happen, like the climax of like a romantic relationship, is sex, right? Whereas, more like, basically any progressive person at this point realizes that it doesn't necessarily have to be this way, right? That you can have like a very, very emotionally deep connection with someone and, have sex with them like right away if both of you feel up to it and want it, right? So yeah, relationship anarchy also wants to like get rid of the relationship escalator. Now, again, sorry, now I'll get to the second part, which I wanted to. Wait, there were a few trees there that I wanted to chop, but I guess I can do that later. Let's make a lap first. So the second part was the idea of like abolishing expectations for relationships to last certain amounts of time or indefinitely. Now, there's a difference between having expectations. Wait, help wanted. I'd like to put amethyst above the mantle. Please deliver it sometime today. Pierre. Again, the chance that we're going to find an amethyst is very low, but who knows? Maybe we'll get it from trash. So yeah, there's a difference between having expectations, like, you know, rigid expectations that something would necessarily happen in a certain way, and having, you know, hopes that it would. Let me give you an example. I personally hope that, you know, my relationship with the person that I love lasts as long as possible, right? But the thing is, nothing can guarantee that it would, because as people, you know, as time passes, people grow and, you know, they change in different ways. And a lot of times people, you know, kind of like grow apart from each other, right? In different directions. And there's really not much you can do about that. And trying to delay it by forcefully like trying to cause yourself not to change is just going to leave you like stagnant in life, right? So yeah, you can't guarantee that the relationship would remain like, you know, happy and healthy for eternity, right? So why try to force it? Or rather, like, why form expectations that it necessarily would, right? Because if you form an expectation around it and then it fails for any reason, or even like calling it failing is like not correct, because just because, you know, you don't stay completely like compatible for eternity doesn't mean the relationship has failed, right? Like, you still had a good time, you still learned from each other, you still grew, you still had like a lot of positive experiences. So like it doesn't mean that the relationship has necessarily failed, right? But the point that I was trying to get at is that nothing guarantees that it will always feel, you know, good for everyone involved as a romantic relationship or a sexual one. People are reserved to change their mind, you know, at any time, right? So if you form an expectation that it necessarily would, all that's doing is leading up not only to disappointment when it, you know, if it fails, and again, not fails, if it kind of like breaks apart in the future, but also it's adding a lot of unnecessary pressure to the relationship, right? Think about that, like, Chinese like finger trap toy where like you have like both fingers in it at once, and if you try to pull really hard, it's just going to get tighter and tighter, and like you're not going to be able to pull your fingers out. But if you let it go and you let it breathe, right, without any pressure, it's a lot easier to take out, you know, your fingers out of it. So the idea is, if you don't form expectations for the relationship to last for a very long time, that's just going to give it more breathing room to just be itself and like not erode faster due to like pressure, right? There's nothing I want here, I think. Okay. So yeah, that's that point. The third big point, and the ones that I've kind of, you know, accumulated for the episode, is the rejection of the notion that relationships which include intimacy are necessarily more significant than those which don't. Now, what do I mean by that? Let's say I have, you know, a platonic friend, and then I have, you know, someone whom I am not only platonic, but I also, you know, I also have a romantic relationship with, and we get sexual, and let's say we also live together, right? The default assumption in society is that the latter relationship out of the two that I mentioned would necessarily be like a deeper or more meaningful one to me, right? But is there like an actual good reason for that to necessarily be the case? And according to relationship anarchy, no. Like putting relationships on a hierarchy based on what happens in it, like, is meaningless, right? Because what if I do develop, you know, a friendship, like a completely platonic friendship, right, that ends up being more like emotionally significant to me than the other one? What then? Like, am I just like wrong? And the answer is no. Like, feelings are never wrong. They're just feelings. And so the idea is to listen to those feelings and try to like evaluate our relationships accordingly. There's nothing wrong logically with, you know, finding one relationship like more meaningful than the other, regardless of what happens in it. And by the way, I just had a thought. I'm going to put a pause on that real quick. What if I leave some stumps, you know, without chopping them? I'm going to leave these 5 stumps here and see if maybe they grow mold over time. Maybe that's how you grow mushrooms. We'll see. I guess, I'll leave those 5 here. And also I want this one to grow, so I'll get rid of these 2 around it. Same thing here. Make sure to chop this one from the left so it falls towards the right and not into the water. Oh, and I need more energy. So yeah, the point is, don't let what happens in a relationship dictate for you and for your partner, of course, or for anyone else, how important the relationship is supposed to be. Rather, do it the opposite way. You decide, or rather your feelings decide, you know, how important a relationship is, regardless of what happens in it. And then, you know, that's just what it is, right? So yeah, and that one was, I think, pretty easy to explain. Nothing interesting like to get into in that. Now, of course, you could, don't get me wrong, like it is very reasonable and like very statistically likely, right, that a relationship where you end up living with someone and, you know, having a romantic or sexual relationship with them would turn out to be the most significant one to you, right? Especially if like that's the relationship, that's the person like you end up spending the most time with. But it doesn't have to be, and that's the point. I'm also going to leave one maple stump to see if maybe, you know, moss can grow only on specific types of trees. Then plant this one here. And okay. And chop this one just for more seeds. And eat some more salmon berry. Okay, and finally, I guess so. I just realized that the 4th point that I wrote down is the point that I ended up kind of like impromptu bringing up second. But I'll read it anyway. I think, you know what? I just ate too much, way more than I should have. That's okay. So I'll just read it aloud, and if there's anything that I want to add that I haven't already explained previously, then I will. So the point is the rejection of the notion that one person should compromise on their boundaries, standards, or desires and do things they don't enthusiastically consent to for the sake of appeasing another in the relationship. So yeah, I think that's pretty self-explanatory, and I think we already went over that earlier. So now, before we go to sleep for the night, and I think also end the episode because it is starting to run a little bit long, as I promised, here's an example of, you know, someone like, you know, I guess I'll just, you know, say it as it is. There are people who, you know, wait, what do I want to put here? Wood and sap. And I forgot to take this to the, you know what? Okay, I forgot a couple things. I forgot to go to the museum to put this in it, and also forgot to go to Robin's to see if I can buy more stone. But that's okay. We'll do it next time. Let's put this here and this here. And we can sell these, I think. Yeah. Okay. So a person, or rather like a couple, can believe in relationship anarchy values, right? And practice everything that I just went over over the past like 20 minutes, right? While still feeling like they can find all of their needs like in each other, right? And like not wishing to practice polyamory, right? Or just not being poly at all, right? They can be monogamous with each other. They can be exclusive to each other out of complete enthusiastic choice, right? Which would not violate like any of the points that I made so far. So yeah, I can't remember if there's anything else I wanted to add. So maybe if I, you know, after I watch the recording, like in editing, if I remember something, I'll write it down and I'll mention it at the beginning of the next episode to kind of like, you know, complete the line of thought. But yeah, we've made some more money. That's good. And I think we'll end the episode here. right on time for finishing, to read those points that I wanted. And the bookseller is in town today, so of course we'll see that in the next episode. So yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this one. Stay mindful, eat fruit, and don't multiply. Peace.